Well, hello there, and thanks for joining me on this winter season adventure, where we will be racing classic muscle cars in a grand cross-country event. Wintertime cross-country event? Who thought that this would be the ideal combination to choose classic muscle cars is a fracking genius. It is in B class, so that's a positive. Imagine doing this in S2 class. That would be stupendously horrific. Well, to be honest, whomever decided this was surprisingly enough correct in thinking it would be fun, as it brought me a lot of fun, and I can only hope you get to experience some of that fun through this video. I decided to go with the classic Ford Mustang, but in the 69 Boss 302 edition. A very beautiful car. But will it also be any good in cross country? I can honestly say I have absolutely no idea, as I would never choose these kind of cars for these types of races. We have a nice mixture of cars, which I always like to see. Now we head towards the first race of the event, the Beachview Cross Country. I start near the end of the pack, but I worry not, as I hope to get a decent launch, as I usually do, and I trust the muscle part of my car to do its job. On the other hand, everybody is in similar cars, so I might be mistaken, but we'll find out soon enough. Off we go, and Crashmaster forgets which of the three is the acceleration pedal and gives a whole new meaning to the phrase a standing start. Some shenanigans in the wild can be observed in turn 1. And I start noticing that my car has very good handling capabilities, so this tune really suits my driving style. And then we have one threading the needle, more or less, one ghostly disappearance and one regular pass, and I'm up in first place. But as it goes with handling cars, I get passed by the faster cars. The water probably did not help either. The leader is able to put some distance between the two of us, but a race usually consists out of more than just straights, so let's see when the twisty section comes up. And actually, I do not have to wait for that, as he had quite a slide going on in the previous corner, as my line was just a little bit better. We can see his hood pass by and I can hear his horn, which I interpret as a goodbye wave. See you later, alligator. I use all of my pole braking capabilities in the jump and continue on my merry way. Farmers will have a wonderful time collecting back their sheep after I break every fence in the vicinity. My teammates are still breathing heavily down my neck as we head towards the beach once again. And there we have another turn in the shallow water where I hardly have to lift off the gas, if at all, and it gives me a slight advantage over my teammates and increases my lead. But the landing is a little bit like a fish on dry land. I'm flip-flopping all over the place and my beautiful lead is shriveling like certain body parts do in this cold winter season. I can even see the headlights of my pursuer. I can only hope the next corners are better suited for my car than his. This seems to be the case as he does not pull alongside as we head towards the finish line. The last small drag race, and I am able to finish in first place. His car was faster, as we saw, but I do prefer the better handling cars as it does give you an edge during most of the corners. And races do tend to have some corners in them, unless it's a drag race, of course. This race turned out to be a whole lot more fun than I could ever have imagined before actually racing it. Who would have imagined that racing classic muscle cars in a cross-country event would be fun? Well, someone at turn 10 did, or he thought he would be bullying us by setting this up, in which case he failed miserably. We have more than sufficient points to win this race, so the first victory point of this Billy Snow Mates Championship is ours. One more point and we take home the grand prize. Let's see if we can already achieve a championship victory by also winning the next race. And the next race is a circuit race. And we go spin around 3 laps on the Castle Cross Country circuit. And over here I start dead last. So I have my work cut out for me. The AMC Hornet that finished in second place the previous race is not that far ahead, but it also had a very good launch, so I will probably not catch it anytime soon. Nevertheless, I do hope to gain a fair amount of positions after the first couple of corners. We start, and it seems that this time around everybody has a decent launch. I can pass only Crashmaster because I'm on the inside, but at least he did start this time. And being in the back allows me to see all of the shenanigans going on in the second corner. What a sight to behold. We are all over the place, which might be normal as most of us want to avoid one another, and then I work my magic. Staying on the left side allows me to gain 4 places in the space of more or less 2 checkpoints. I went up from 8th to 4th place. The handling of my car allows me to pass one more as I can stay on the inside of the corner, while the AMC Hornet is just in front of me. We head towards the jump. I have a good run up, so that should not be a problem. But then I take a wrong decision. I want to go straight ahead, while the AMC wants to go left. I block him or he blocks me. It all boils down to the both of us taking a different decision on which line to follow. I consider my decision to be the bad one, as the other line is actually the faster one. I just did not realize that until it was too late. All of this means I momentarily end up in 4th place, but I regained 3rd fast enough. We head towards the finish line with 1st and 2nd somewhat in the distance, and 2 drivatars right on my tail. We head back to that second corner, and there we can see the Plymouth Cuda that started in pole is not making the corner. He drove too wide, almost as wide as your mama. To stick in a bad your mama joke. I can now start playing catch with the AMC in front. The beach section is no problem for my handling beast, so I hope to at least gain a little bit on him. Not sure if I have a better line or it is because he decides to collect some wooden fences for his own garden, but I do gain on him. And then on our second trip through the castle, I start having this mixed feelings of guilt and pleasure, as this time the AMC took the route on the right and I take the left one, and I exited the castle in front of him. He does pay me with a little bump on the long 180 corner, but now I'm up in 1st place. The AMC has a good driver, a very good driver, as I assume my car handles better, but I cannot really run away from him. But he can't really gain on me either, so time to focus shortly on the tune, as this one really deserves some attention as I liked it a lot. It is created by Cosmo D777, especially for this Billy Snowmaid's trial, and is aptly named The Trial. If you are still looking for a car and a tune, I suggest you give this combo a chance, as I found it very easy to drive and fast enough to not be outpaced by others. In the meantime, we are on our way to the castle one final time, and I decide to take the line I normally take, and that turned out to be very dangerous with this B-class cars, as I just barely make it. How embarrassing would it have been if I would not have made the jump? Anyway, I did, and I passed one teammate who decided to have a small picnic in the dunes, which can be quite chilly in winter in Britain. And I finished just before another teammate who is almost one lap behind. But even with those two dangling at the very end of the leaderboard, we have sufficient points to claim a second victory. The AMC is in second once again, but this time we do not have the first 3 positions, although it seems to be very close. We do have 7th also, which brings us to a whopping 2050 points, just over 400 more than Team Drivatar. Well, all you boys and girls, you know what that means for this episode. We have another co-op championship where we will race the last race for honor only. Will I be able to make it another hat-trick like a couple of weeks ago, or will I not be so fortunate in my next race? And the next race is also a circuit race. So that means 3 laps of pure muscle power display, a hormonal competition to see who has the biggest one. And we do this comparison on the Aerodrome Cross Country Circuit, a figure 8 track, a bit reminiscent of Destruction Derby tracks, but luckily for us, 3 laps is normally not sufficient to have any collisions on the crossing. I start on the last row. Forza is not doing me any favors today, but that also means that my final result is entirely my own accomplishment. Well, that of my cars and the excellent tune and a little bit my driving skills. Ha! We are off. And again, I start in the vicinity of Crashmaster and again I can pass him. But then I get boxed in trying to pass DDR, but the green Cuda drops back. Thanks mate. I'm now on the inside line and I can work the same magic once more. Pass a lot of people on the inside. This time I went up from 10th to 6th, again claiming 4 positions. I have a good handling car, so I decide to take the inside line on the 180-degree corner. It allows me to pass one drivatar, but the outside line gives the other drivatar a better line for the long straight. So he gets the run on me and I see him scurry away from me through the containers. And something happened as another drivatar is almost at a standstill just beyond the containers. I had a better run through the final corner, but then of course get stuck behind the drivatar as he was on my racing line. But then I still get to pass him in the first corner. However, that leaves me on a tight line through the next corner, where I have to lift off my foot from the gas, causing me to lose some momentum. The 2 in front are now way ahead of me. We dash on the snowy grass once again towards a 180-degree corner, and this time it displays nicely the difference in car and tune between mine and the AMC. He is completely on the outside, maybe even against the wall, as he has trouble getting around the corner properly. So I could gain on him, but then on the straight he is able to pull away from me once again. In the final corner it should shift back again and go in my favor. And there he goes, hitting the wall again as he cannot round the corner on the inside. His car just does not have the handling for that. And I gained quite a lot on him. Also, this next section should see me gain even more on him. He goes wide, drifting even, but I have some misfortune with street furniture. Well, meadow furniture. How is one supposed to call this debris? And then we see him take the alternative route, which I think is a major mistake, as that makes the 180-degree corner even sharper for him. He gets out in front as he has the shorter route, but I can get the cut back on him, if you can call it that. That leaves me in second place with the drivatar in front, a million miles away with only 1 corner left. For sure, this will not be a first place for me, but as we head towards the corner, I do think second place is an option. We see the hood of the AMC whoosh by, but that also means he is not making the corner, and I do get to finish in second place. But this time the points are just not sufficient. It was close, but no cigar. We needed another 2 places to win this race, or a victory and another place, but stars were misaligned and this did not allow a 3rd victory for the human team. I could say it was with pure compassion that we allowed the poor drivatars their victory, but to be honest, I gave it my all and it was just not sufficient. So this victory point goes to Team Drivatar. Unfortunately, but that 1 point does not prevent us from winning the co-op championship, as we already had to. The Billy Snow Mates trial victory is ours. And to never get blinded by the sun's reflection in the snow, the prize for this week's event is an amazing set of goggles and a hat. But if worn correctly, that hat should not prevent the sun's reflection in the snow from hitting your eyes. If it does, you're not wearing it correctly, unless you're robbing a bank or convincing people to subscribe to my channel or hit the like button or write a comment on their behalf. In those cases, you can wear the damned hat any which way you like. And I would like to see you once again next time. Goodbye.